Hi, everybody. It's Becky with The Better Way to Homeschool, and I am back with another amazing interview and conversation with you today. I am super excited about this one. Do you remember back? Okay, I'm old enough to remember the whole listening to the radio and tuning the dial and finding your favorite DJ and listening to the play mixes. That was a really big thing back when I was in high school. And I have a guest on today that is bringing that whole radio experience to our kids from a homeschool perspective. Did you even know that radio for homeschool or homeschool radio was a thing? Hey, I didn't either, but I am here with my new friend, Sean, and Sean is here to talk to us about this new thing that I didn't even know existed, homeschool radio. So Sean, welcome.
Well, thank you, Becky. Thank you for having us on the Better Way to Homeschool today.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And I love that you actually look like a real radio DJ. You got your little speaker thing there. I think it's cool.
I do have the face for radio, so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So Sean, before we talk about homeschool radio, I wanted you to introduce yourself, kind of where you are on the planet, and you're a homeschooler too. So tell us a little bit about you.
Right. Well, we are coming to you from the DH Broadcast Studios in Texas, that is located in Wichita Falls.
Okay.
And we have been homeschooling for 16 years, since 2003. So Thanksgiving 2003 is when we started that journey with our oldest, who we graduated about 3 years ago.
Wow. So you have one graduated, and do you still have a couple at home?
We do have a 7th grader and a 10th grader.
Okay. So close to what I have kind of at home, right? Well, I have a 9th grader right now at home, but I also have an 11th grader and a 12th grader at home still. And I also have a 21-year-old at home too. We still have a house full of kids, but only one that I'm officially still homeschooling this year.
Okay.
So you have two. You have a 7th grader and a 10th grader. And then what is this homeschool radio? So can you explain that in a nutshell?
Right. What I have done, I have taken the 16 years, and it is going until we're done. So far, I've taken what I know for the past 16 years, homeschool and radio. It runs in my family. My father was a DJ back in the 60s, 70s, and a little bit of the 80s. And I never really went into the business myself because there was so much moving around. It's not like that anymore. It's not like WKRP in Cincinnati anymore. If anybody out there knows what I'm talking about, that's what that was. So right now, anybody can, if they've got a big music collection or something like that, they could pretty much start their own internet radio station. And that's what I have taken, those two loves in my life, broadcasting and homeschool, and married them together, if you will. And basically, homeschool radio is set up to serve, encourage, and empower the homeschool community at large. We know what homeschool is about, but we also like to play music. So it's like there are radio stations out there that people can listen to, whereas we're coming at it, we're a radio station, but we also know and live and breathe the homeschool life.
Okay. So what does that sound like so when I'm listening to the homeschool radio, I'm going to be hearing music. What other types of things would be on the radio?
Right now, since it is just in the beginning stages, we've been broadcasting since January of this year.
Oh, okay.
You're going to hear encouragement through, in between songs. So you'll hear a song and you'll hear what is an industry term, a sweeper.
Okay.
And you will hear encouragement like, how to handle homeschooling with a toddler underfoot,
Okay.
or how to. It's basically homeschool encouragement throughout the day,
Okay.
all 24 hours actually. So because yeah, it's 24 hours of music with homeschool encouragement interjected in between.
24 hours with encouragement. So you have everything from parenting type tips, or do you ever have any, I've tuned in a few times, so I'm not a big, when I am busy teaching, I don't have the radio playing personally. It distracts me, but every time I've listened, I've loved the music. But I've only caught the music so far, so I haven't caught any of the sweepers or the things. So over the last, is it pre-recorded? Is it live?
They are pre-recorded.
Okay.
So, it's like you would hear, your a local radio station, and they give their call letters and any information about, a show, or, they're like public service announcements,
Okay.
basically, for the homeschool community.
Okay.
One is, if you have a toddler and you're trying to homeschool, you can find activities and crafts for them to do while your toddler, while your older school kids are doing work.
Right.
Or another one is if you have I'm thinking on my feet here. I've recorded these
prep you. That's okay.
earlier in the year, and I'm like, oh, great, but it is encouragement for you, the new homeschooler and the seasoned, the veteran. They may have been in it so long, they may hear something that seems obvious, or would be good for a new homeschooler. It's like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea too. Like,
cool.
Another one is if your child has a spelling list, record that into your iPhone or your Android, and then you can go do something else while they listen to their spelling words being dictated to them.
Right.
So
I did that, and we did that a lot when I have 5 sons, and when I started homeschooling, my oldest was in 5th grade, and not my youngest. So I had a 5th grader and a kindergartner, and then a bunch of babies. And so we used the old-fashioned tape recorder, where I would sit and create a tape with the kindergartner right next to me. And we would read books, and he would make the ding sound to turn the pages. And then I would give him instructions, hang upside down on the sofa, because he was a boy, walk toe to toe across the living room. And we made a tape that then he would play every day for a week or two, where it's tape time. And he would go do the tape, and he would love it because we had created it together. So you could hear me, you could, give mom a hug, and we'd get a hug. And I would say on the tape, stop the tape and come find mommy and give mommy a hug. And so he'd stop the tape and he'd come run. So those types of tips are really, really beneficial and helpful, especially when you're surrounded and outnumbered by littles. So that's a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing is, like I said, we have been broadcasting since early January. So, we are always on the lookout for, podcasts that are out there that, want to get, extra exposure, and we can help each other with that as well. So.
Right. Well, I know a few people that might be interested, so that would be cool. We've had some really fun conversations so far. But you actually have 2 separate radio stations, don't you?
Correct. That is correct. We have Homeschool Radio, or KHSR, and then Christian Homeschool Radio, or KCHR.
Okay.
Those are found. One is KCHR.FM. That is the Christian version, and the regular KHSR.FM is the homeschool version.
So that's the homeschool version.
Right.
And
KHSR.FM is 70s, 80s, 90s, and music from today that is safe and fun. I sit there and I actually go through all the music to make sure that it is radio friendly. There's nothing too risque or shouldn't be saying that on the air. If it is, it will go. Or if I can find an alternative to that, we'll go ahead and we'll edit that out and play that. So it's like an edited version.
Very cool.
And on the Christian side, KCHR, it is just Christian praise and worship music from the 70s to today.
Okay, very cool. And then so the whole mission statement, then the whole goal of both of these radio stations is the same, but one more for a secular audience and one more for a Christian audience.
That is correct.
Which, when it all boils down at the end of the day, we all have the same goal. And the same goal is to raise up our kids the best that we can, encouraging them and empowering them to do the best that they can for their life and for their community. I know in our household, we're Christians in our household too. So we filter everything we do through the filter of God's word and wanting to glorify the Lord. But at the same time, most parents out there were unified in wanting to do what's best for our kids. So
Right.
if I'm hearing you correct, and they blend, it's the same thing. You're serving, encouraging, and empowering the homeschool community to do the best that they can for their kids. Right. So fantastic.
Correct. And I would like the homeschool families that are watching this, listening to this, or watching a replay of this, to know that there is a guy behind this mic who knows what is going on. I'm not just some guy trying to cash in on the homeschool craze or whatever it is.
Right.
I want them to know that, hey, there's a station out there for us, run by people who know what is going on. And I will probably be doing this long after our kids have graduated.
Right.
Once we kick out the last one, when he's done graduated, I'll probably still be doing this because this is a love. One, to encourage families, parents to take, control of their kids' education and direct that to serve, empower, and encourage those families to do this.
Well, that's fantastic. It's the same mission that I have too, to encourage. My main audience is homeschool moms, and that my heart is to encourage and equip homeschool moms. However, that we're all homeschool families, so everything that I share is also for the dads too, the forgotten ones behind the scene.
Right,
it's just right. So do you play an active role in the homeschooling of your own kids, Sean?
Actually, I do. I help grade papers. I help guide and direct them to find what they're looking for if they got something wrong. And on Tuesdays, when my wife goes to Bible study, I take over until she gets back.
Okay.
And then also on days wherever she's under the weather for whatever reason, I'm wearing like 6 hats that day.
Right.
Teacher, radio stuff, and job stuff. So I, whenever it is there for me to step in, I step in.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So you are a hands-on dad, homeschool dad.
Oh, yeah.
Passion for empowering and encouraging and serving homeschool families. So people can find you. So Homeschool Radio. Now, there are, when you're listening to music, it lights up different parts of your brain. So in homeschooling and in learning, there is a time for silence, and that's good. In this day and age, to teach our kids to be okay with silence is a good thing. However, a lot of kids also do better with different subjects with different types of things going on in the background. So like I'm sitting on a bouncy ball right now. So some kids need sensory things to keep their bodies moving. I have a few kids that when they're writing, they need certain types of music going on in the background. When they're doing math, they need a certain type of music going on in the background. They just concentrate better. So I love that. And a pet peeve of mine when it comes to the radio is turning on the radio and then having to have my antenna on for appropriateness. I don't want things to just be slipping in to their brains. Because I didn't become a Christian until I was 24, and I love all kinds of music. So that means good, bad, and totally inappropriate from when I was in high school. And I don't want that playing in the background and to even catch myself singing along because I might know the words to some of these songs. I like having the ability to turn on music, to turn on a radio, and then just to kind of just not forget about it, but just have it in the background. So I love that you are creating and delivering a safe broadcast that can be on in the background. So I think that's fantastic. Can you categorize the type of music that you play, or is it just the age? So 70s, 80s, 90s?
There's a little light adult rock, pop rock, soft rock, you could say, dance, pop.
Okay.
A little bit of everything. The little music blocks that I set up, I try to, not have like a rock song and a dance song. I try to, keep it, if there's a 70s song, I'll try to keep that music block kind of 70s, either dance or pop or rock, things like that. There's no hard rock or heavy metal or anything like that on there.
Okay.
That, I do look like that, but that is, I know my audience. So,
we do tend to swing more on the conservative side, I think, a little bit, but not all of us. And I do, there is some hard rock that I do like. I have shocked some of my sons before where they're like, what? You can't possibly know this song. I'm like, unfortunately, I do know this song.
Right.
Okay. So how do you engage with your audience? Do people call in? Do they do requests?
We do take requests. They can either put it on our Facebook page, or they can direct message us on our Facebook page, on Twitter feed. They can even email us.
Okay.
So there are various ways to put in a request. There is no call-in right now.
Right.
On KHSR on Saturdays from, I gotta do this right, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have it's Saturdays with Sean. So you just have to move the clock back 1 hour going back toward the West Coast. So Central Time, it's like 9 to 1. Mountain Standard Time, it's 8 to noon. And then Central or West Coast Time, it's 7 to 11.
Right.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Oh.
So Saturdays with Sean, what does that mean?
Spending Saturdays with me.
Okay.
Sean, the cool dad.
Sean, the cool dad. That's cool.
Cool dad.
Okay, so going through this then, so homeschool radio is a thing. Homeschool radio is something that we can tune in. We can tune in the descriptions. There are links to both KHSR, which is the secular version of the homeschool radio, and KCHR FM, which is the Christian version, playing more praise and worship. So on your Facebook pages, I saw that there's a spot where you can get the app, and it can you can stream it right through your computer or through your phone, correct?
Correct. You can listen to it. You can on the Facebook page, you can click the link and it'll pop up. If you go to the website, same thing. You click on the little banner, now playing banner that's there at the top. It'll open up a window,
Right.
and you can listen to it on your mobile device. You go to the website, you tap the link there, and it'll open up, and you can listen to it on the go. And you can even download. We're on the Live 365 platform, so if you wanted to download the app, you can do that as well, and you would type in Homeschool Radio, and both stations will come up.
Okay, and so that's more of an app that I could carry on my smartphone, so that I could.
Right, or you could even type in the address on your web browser on the phone.
Okay.
And it'll pop up that way for you as well, and you can tune in through the browser on your phone if you didn't want to download an app.
Very cool. So people can find you at KHSR or KCHR. You have bumper stickers. Can you show me one of those bumper stickers?
Yes, I do. There's one.
Very cool. KHSR.FM.
And there we go. KCHR. Okay. These are free, postage paid. So all they need to do, if they want one, they message us on our Facebook page, Twitter feed, direct message, or send us an email at info@khsr.fm if you want the KHSR bumper sticker. If you want the KCHR bumper sticker, that's info@kchr.fm as well.
Okay, I'll add that into the descriptions when we're done so that people can find those. So I think that's really, really cool. I'm anxious to listen more. I hadn't put it on my phone. I didn't think to do that. So I'm kind of old school. So I've just got one of those cables so I can actually stream things in the car. So I'm excited to actually listen as I go. Very cool. Well, thank you, Sean. So I'm not seeing any questions pop up, but I am really thrilled to be able to bring this resource to the homeschool community because it's not just your standard thing. It's new. And yet it's like old school too. Bringing radio to our kids is a really, really cool thing. Not just having our kids wired in, just listening to their own thing, but everybody listening to good, positive, encouraging, empowering things through our day it makes a huge difference. It changes the atmosphere of the home when there's good, positive music going on. So I think it's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of the music that we do play, I do look at it and I do try to see the message or at least the title as being reflective of homeschooling. Steve Winwood is a great example. His song "Roll With It," and one of the things that I've always said in regards to homeschool is, don't worry about if you got all the activities in or all their lessons in for the day, and an accident happened or some emergency came up. Do what my buddy Steve Winwood does. Roll with it.
Roll with it. I love it. I love it. We can learn so much from. I love that music can reinforce those things or help us help remind us of those things. So that's fantastic. So Sean, if you don't mind, you just hang on just for a second. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm super excited. So, yay. Okay, I'll be right back. Sean, don't go away. Okay. Oh my gosh. So Homeschool Radio. I didn't even know this was a thing. So how cool is this? So follow in the descriptions and go check out KHSR FM on the secular side or KCHR FM on the Christian side. Both stations are encouraging and empowering. Both stations are set up to encourage the homeschool family to not only will it bring positive and encouraging music, but it will also bring tips and just grains of wisdom shared from someone that's been in the trenches before. So that's really, really cool. So thank you very much for Sean for joining us with KCHR FM. That's the one that I've been listening to, and I love it so far. Super great. If you want one of those bumper stickers, you can get that. Let me type that in. You can get the bumper sticker at info@KCHR. I'll make sure that I think it's KCHR FM. Let me get it. So I'll get the link and I'll add that back in a second. But thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.